course, even the most powerful and boldest vision is only as valuable as the opportunity you have to actually make it real. As Ayn Rand suggests, opportunity provides a pathway, the ladder she refers to here, that leads us to our vision, that allows us to get there. In 18th century America, there was certainly opportunity. The political landscape, the frustration of the colonists, the strength of their visionary leadership, and a powerful shared sense of purpose all came together to make the revolution possible. And the same is going to have to be true for your visions to come to life. The prevailing environment, the needs and hopes and aspirations of others, and your abilities individually and as a team to share your vision and lead others are all going to have to be in alignment. And now remember, we said that by definition, innovation has to provide greater value or benefit, which means that somebody somewhere has to actually need it or want it. There has to be a demand. If there's no demand, there's obviously not an opportunity. And this is one of my favorite examples. Does anybody know what this is? We forget so quickly. This is the Sony Data Discman. It was one of the very earliest electronic book readers, what we refer to as e-readers today, and it was introduced in the US in 1992, 15 years before the Amazon Kindle. Sony had an awesome idea, and they transformed it into a powerful vision. And this remarkable device was a complete and total bust. Why? Well, the technology was still fairly immature. The device itself was pretty expensive. There was very little third-party support. But most of all, people just didn't want it all that much. Nobody really needed an electronic book reader at that point in time. There was no demand. And so there was no opportunity, at least not for 15 years. Now, just because the timing isn't right for a particular idea to come to life, there are always opportunities to improve the status quo. And ironically, periods or situations of extreme difficulty, adversity, and disappointment, discomfort, these situations often provide the most powerful and most immediate opportunities for innovation. For example, World War II led to the development and use of radar, considered by many experts to be a key factor in the Allies winning the war. The Cold War, that period of intense competition between the United States and the Soviet Union, resulted in the space race, and ultimately to the US putting a man on the moon. And a lot of other innovations came out of just those two global events, like microwave ovens, rockets, the computer, atomic energy, and even Spam and Twinkies, if you want to consider those last two innovations. And before you say anything, look, we tried really hard to get rid of the Twinkie, no go. They obviously deliver way too much value and benefit to the people that consume them. More recently, and I was actually speaking to somebody just last night about this. There was this guy named Kevin Plank. Handsome devil, isn't he? And you see he has a football in his hand. That's because Kevin Plank was also a football player. Some guys have it all. He was a football player at the University of Maryland. And Kevin found himself in a situation of extreme difficulty, adversity, and discomfort because of his t-shirt. You see, Kevin was tired of wearing a wet, sweaty t-shirt under his football uniform that would bunch up and chafe and get heavy. And so were his teammates, apparently, because when Kevin had the idea, the vision, to have a bunch of t-shirts made up from a lightweight polyester fabric that was intended to be used for women's lingerie, yes, women's lingerie on football players, guess what? All of Kevin's teammates wanted one. And that opportunity resulted in Kevin Plank becoming the CEO and founder of Under Armour, today a $2.3 billion company. And I'm proud to say, one of our clients at SmartStorming. But it was all because of a t-shirt. See, that's what happens when you combine a powerful vision with a ripe opportunity at the right time. The great comedian Milton Berle once said, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door, which simply means that opportunities can exist, but you can also create them. Google, Mitchell talked about Google a few minutes ago. Google didn't seize the opportunity to invent the first internet search engine. They were 6 years too late for that. The first search engine was called Archie. No, Google created an opportunity by developing a search engine that was dramatically better than anyone else's. They identified a way to deliver greater value and benefit, and as a result, today they dominate the internet. Today, you can Google Archie, but you cannot Archie Google. Apple didn't invent the personal computer. They just made a personal computer that was more user-friendly. Starbucks didn't open the first coffee shop. They just did the coffee shop and the coffee better. And Amazon, by far, was not the first online retailer. They just created an opportunity by revolutionizing every single step in the process. So you see, to be a successful innovator, you have to have this opportunity seeker mindset. You have to be able to identify opportunities and situations in which they can be created and then act on them quickly and decisively before someone else does. So how do you do it? How do you develop this opportunity seeker mindset? Well, first of all, you need to be on the lookout for things that don't work or that don't work as well as they should. Right there is an opportunity. You can also leave your ears open. Listen for complaints. Because if somebody is complaining about something, there's a pretty good chance you can replace it with something better. Now, let's try it right now. Flex your imagination muscles with me. Everybody's had some coffee, so play along. See how this works. Think for just a second. Ask yourself, where are the opportunities in your industry or organization right now? What could you improve starting today in order to deliver greater value and benefit? In what ways can the status quo be made better? And perhaps most important, what can you actually do about it? That last question requires something a little more. It requires some creative thinking.